Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day to all of my dear friends, teachers, and viewers out there. My name is Muhammad Nadim bin Idris, and I'm from SMK Tuanku Lailatul Syahrin. As a person who favored studying language, reading had enabled me to expand my vocabulary in foreign language, especially to my English. Standing me here today is to give a little bit of sharing about some of my top 5 most favorite books. I'm actually a very versatile reader, but out of all books that I've read before, there's one book that particularly sticks out to me the most, and it is called As I Was Passing, authored by Aribah Amin. So a little bit of backstory about the author is that Aribah Amin was actually a well-recognized newspaper writer back in the 1970s and 1980s. A pseudonym, or people used to call her back then, as Seri Delima. If you're an avid reader of the New Straits Times newspaper, you might have stumbled upon her work once in a while. So the book features all of her newspaper writing column, which was then collected and gathered, which is then to be published into 2 volumes. Today, I'm going to talk about the first volume of her books. So looking at the design of the cover, you can already guess what the book is going to be talking about. So at the front cover, you can see a small window, and overlooking that window, there is a KLCC tower view and some commonly sceneries that you can commonly find in Malaysia. So at first glance, you can already tell that the book is going to be talking about something that have to do with Malaysia. So the book discovers about all of her aspect and experience that she had with Malaysia regarding the social, the psychological, and societal aspect that she had with Malaysia. To put it simply, she goes on to author, what make Malaysia, Malaysia? A wonderful question that I believe rarely cross everyone's mind. Mine as well, to be honest. She goes on to retell about her experience regarding the traditions, the custom, the festivities, the past childhood, and modern day Malaysia. So when I grabbed the book, and after reading through all of the introduction, the first thing that I saw, written in a big, bold title, so this is Malaysia. Some of the story that she retailed in the book was heavily fresh for me, as I found myself being heavily engrossed in it, as it provided me with new experience and insight that I've never had before. For instance, in one of Aribah's story titled Ghazal. Now when I first read the book, I've never even heard nor do I know what Ghazal is, as she goes on to narrate it that her one-time experience with Ghazal was slightly different with an Indian twist in it. Now when I read this, it sparked the feeling of intrigueness and curiosity within me, as it made me want to experience what Aribah had experienced for myself. This not only shows her experience, but it also shows the cultural length of the cultural harmony there is in Malaysia, how one tradition can interlink with each other and yet can still be enjoyed either by the younger generation or the older generation. Secondly, there's one of Aribah's story titled Ronggang. In this story, Aribah recalled her experience with the traditional Malay dance Ronggang and its relationship with respectability and honor. In that story, Aribah encouraged the readers to actually find ways to honor their cultural heritage and identity, yet still remaining true to themselves, which is one of the most important aspects that make me wonder if there are other authors out there that could manage to match the same level that Aribah had set for me. Her wonderful style of writing keep me wanting to turn the page after pages, with each turn satisfying my curiosity with her wonderful anecdotal story. Thirdly, there's one of Aribah's story titled Latah. Now personally, I've never felt so close relating to a story in a book before. In her story, Aribah described her experience with Latah, which she goes on to narrate it to be one of the unique phenomena to Malaysia. She goes on to encourage the reader to find way to actually learn and understand the different perspective of different individuals. Though Latah is considered to be one of the things that is looked down by many others, its existence highlights the importance to make people to actually understand, to find ways to actually learn to how to accept, respect, and know the different perspective between different individuals. To sum it up, or in summary, as a closure, I would heavily recommend this book, either to your friends, your teachers, or even to a random foreigner that you might have stumbled upon at a random book expo. Though the book is awesome, there's also some several weaknesses that can be addressed, such as, for instance, the plot story of the book is written more like an episode and series rather than a cohesive narrative. This might have stumbled to some readers as something that is considered to be the slow-paced novel, even make it more slower. Secondly, the book also grazed several sensitive topics such as the aspect of poverty, loss, war, inequality, and abuse. Thirdly, some of the story that was entailed inside of the book also have unclear or blurry plot moral, such as, for instance, in one of Adibah's story titled Malaysian Time. For this story, for some readers, they might actually misunderstood that the stories might have want to convey the message that Malaysia are not punctual. Though the book is great, it is still encourage the reader to find empathy and compassion, to find ways to actually be kind to each other. So either you're a seasoned reader or a new reader, this book is the perfect one for you to start with. And with that, I would like to thank you guys for listening. Thank you very much.